Thank you, everyone. Welcome, everyone. I'd love to have Jared keep playing and playing and playing. We'll hear more from him soon. Welcome. My name is Andy Engel, and I lead the virtual public programs here at Reimagine. And welcome to Heartbroken, Heart Open. I'd love to see you all, if that's possible. If you can turn your cameras on, that would be wonderful. If you're in a situation where you can't turn your camera on, that's totally fine. For those who don't know, Reimagine is a nonprofit organization catalyzing a uniquely powerful community. People of different backgrounds, different ages, different races, people of faith, people of no faith, all coming together to find solace in a world that is incredibly alienating right now, frightening, um, and I know many of us are feeling quite hopeless right now. Um, so I want just to acknowledge that for all of you. Our hope today is that even if your hearts are broken, they are open to appreciating that it's possible to transform life's biggest challenges into purpose, into creativity, into action and growth. Our intention to gather you today is to acknowledge that for many of you, Mother's Day can suck. I'll just be blunt about it. But perhaps with encouragement from others in the chat and hearing from our very special guests today, you might consider ways to set aside time on Sunday to do something for yourself or something with others. Maybe you'll set aside some time to write in a journal. Maybe you'll tell a favorite joke. Maybe you'll sing. Maybe you'll cook something special, take a walk, call a friend, meditate, create a ritual or a ceremony. Maybe one of those small, sweet acts will make Mother's Day suck slightly less. First, I'd like to hear from all of you in the chat. The subtitle of our event is Taking a Pulse on Mother's Day. So I want to get literal here. Can we actually take a moment to feel our pulse? I visited the cardiologist the other day, and I'm kind of inspired by that visit. You can take your pulse on your wrist, which is what I'm accustomed to, but my cardiologist actually took my pulse using my ankles. And there's the neck, of course. And if you don't want to feel your pulse right now, that's okay. Just use the chat and describe how your heart is feeling right now. How does it sound? Is it a drum? And what kind of drum? Is it a bass drum? Is it a snare drum? A tom-tom? Is it a fluttering bird? Is it a jackhammer? A heavy rain? Maybe your heart's in your throat. And maybe the sound is faint. Maybe there's no sensation at all. Maybe you can't find your pulse. Maybe you're just feeling numb right now. So please, let's see what's going on in the chat. Ooh, I like that. Bass drum, drizzling rain, strong, steady, persistent. Good for you, Abby. Soft. Thank you, Lily. Great. Keep going with that. Um, Whatever you're feeling, it's totally fine. Okay, so now I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. Okay. Yes, there we go. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Let's see. Uh, it's not behaving right now, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And Nicole, if you're able to mute folks, that would be great. So before I begin with this program, I want to share what kind of space this is. Here are some touchstones if you are new to Reimagine. First, please know that this is a space to cultivate compassion for others and for ourselves. Like I said, most of us are arriving here with some kind of pain in our hearts, and our hope is to help people create a more compassionate world. It's a space for bravery. It takes courage to show up for others, especially folks who you don't know. And it takes courage to lament and to grieve in public. Um, Finally, the space is not perfect. We might fumble, we might falter, we might offend, but we ask for your grace. What kind of space this isn't? This is not about blaming. This is not about fixing things. It's not about imposing belief systems on others. Another thing I want to emphasize is that although this is not a political space, it is a space to cultivate social justice. And what is justice? I like this definition from Dr. Cornel West. He says, justice is what love looks like in public. Justice is certainly a personal feeling that's unique to every one of us. And that love is a call to action for our collective safety, repair, and wholeness. Okay, Thank you for that. What's going to unfold this afternoon, this evening, or this morning, depending on where you are? We'll be together for another 80 minutes or so. Our special guests will offer their reflections in prose and in poetry and in music. At the end, there will be an honor ceremony, and that's your moment to use the chat and share with us who you're thinking of, who you're remembering or honoring as we approach Mother's Day. After the honor ceremony, we'll have some announcements and then we'll say goodbye. Okay. So I asked my friend and colleague, Tlatzoltiani Zamaripa, to help us feel more grounded. She created this beautiful ofrenda, which you saw at the beginning with Jarrett Cherner's music. She'll return later to share her palabra, uh, her reflections, her words, and lead us in the honor ceremony. But for now, I want to invite her to help ground us. A few words about Tlatzoltiani. She serves as co-director and co-founder of the Institute of Chicanx Psychology and Community Wellness in Austin, Texas. She and her partner, Manuel Zamaripa, who helped with that ofrenda and helped set this all up, by the way, they are longtime Reimagine collaborators. They are mental health advocates and educators, primarily supporting Latinx and BIPOC families. Tlatzoltiani is a keeper of ancestral wisdom, and we're blessed to have her be part of this gathering. Tlatzoltiani, I'm handing this off to you.
Mateo, I present myself as Jessica Tlatzoltiani Samaripa, keeper of ancestral wisdoms, daughter of Jessie Zamora Aguirre and Maria Teresa Maldonado Montelongo, mother of Graciela Elena, Jesse Lino Yami Kitzli, and Joaquin Martin Tlawitz Masa. And I hope to come in a good way. Asking permission, with permission of the guardians of this sacred land and the lands where you are, with permission of the rains, with permission of the sun and the moon, Tatatonatiu, Nana Metzli, con permiso de, with permission of all of your ancestors, and with all of your hearts. I want to call us in to this blessing and to this opening of this circle. And I want to call us to enter from our minds, where we spend a lot of time, right, in our minds and in our thoughts and in figuring out, and bring us from our minds into our bodies and into our spirits. So if we can just imagine us coming into our bodies and into our spirits, asking that we put ourselves as an invitation, that we put ourselves in a receiving position. And that's kind of hard for us who are always used to expressing outward and used to producing work. If we put ourselves into a receiving position, I am lucky enough right now, fortunate enough to be receiving the rains on the lands where we are, and reminding us to allow those rains to flow, even if it's the waters from our body to flow on our face, inviting that to come, and inviting in the words that Andy already shared, the words about, motherhood may suck right now. Just the Mother's Day may suck right now for whatever reason. Or it may be a special time. And just inviting that array of experiences to be whatever it is in that receiving position, to not expect ourselves to feel any certain way, right? But to allow ourselves to receive anything that comes and to be aware of it and to bring healing to it if that's what needs to happen. Inviting us to honor our hearts, again, in alignment with the words that Andy has already woven into this circle, and the words that all of our speakers are going to weave into this circle, and all of your presence is going to weave into the circle. But that corazón, that heartbeat, how it's beating, that latido de corazón, that heartbeat, connecting it with the heartbeat of our Madrecita Tierra, our Mother Earth, Tonantzin Tlali Cuatlicue, connecting it with her heartbeat, in good harmonious vibration, not only with her heartbeat, but with the heartbeat of all of us here present in this virtual circle. We may not be able to be in person right now, pero somos conectados. We're connected as a community. And those are the things that bring strength for us with all that's going on in the world right now. So, inviting us to root into that experience, to root into each other, to root into this circle that we're weaving together. Oh, Mateo.
Mateo, gracias. Thank you, Tlatzoltiani, for that. I loved hearing the wind chimes in the back. Um, okay, now it's my turn to introduce our first speaker, Angela Nissel. Angela is an author of memoirs and a prolific television producer and writer whose credits include The Other Black Girl, Mixed-ish, and Scrubs. Prior to her television career, she had illustrious careers as a temp for the IRS, a stripper, got to hear about that later, and a sleep apnea auditor watching people snore overnight in a local hospital. Her new book, Good Grief, Pass the Bread, Mom is Dead, chronicles her caring for her terminally ill mother with humor and raw honesty. She lives in Los Angeles, but soon to be in Minneapolis or outside of Minneapolis. Angela, I'm passing this to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And yes, I was a daytime stripper, which is very different from the glamorous life of someone who gets to work after hours. Thank you guys for having me here. I have to say, to start off, I lost my mom 15 years ago, and she has a granddaughter that she's never met. And my book just came out last week. And so talk about heartbeat. My heart beats a lot and very fast when I talk about this. So I got her granddaughter, my mom's granddaughter, on the phone and just practiced speaking slowly with her. And I asked her for any feedback, and she said, with your glasses, you really read like an old person. So if you guys see me doing that old person thing, try not to laugh like my niece did. So this is my reflection. After my mom died, one of the first things I noticed was how quickly the world moved on. There was no pause, no moment where everything just stopped. People were still outside, going to work, laughing, arguing about dumb stuff like parking spots. And I remember thinking, how is this still possible? How is everyone just continuing? Do they not know how I feel? And to top it all off, someone put a billboard on the corner near my home. And on the billboard was a young girl. She was smiling, healthy. She had a bald head, but you could see that her hair was growing back in. And it's the kind of photo that's supposed to make you feel hopeful because under it, it said perseverance. Pass it on. And I said, hey, pass this on. Fuck you. Said this out loud to a billboard. Fuck you, Foundation for a Better Life. I was just so mad, and no one prepared me for how mad I was going to be. Because all I could think when looking at that billboard was my mom didn't beat cancer. Her hair would never grow back. My mom did everything right. She was strong, she had faith, she did the treatments, and no one honored her with a billboard because she didn't persevere. So now I'm sitting there looking at this billboard that's supposed to make people feel good, and all it's doing is reminding me of exactly what I do not have. Look what's possible. Look what didn't happen for you, Angela. And I knew that wasn't the intention. I knew that billboard was probably helping someone. I knew there was a family out there celebrating that little girl. But in that moment, it didn't feel like hope. It felt like an attack. And I remember looking at my own anger, thinking, your anger doesn't make sense because it's a child who survived something terrible. Why was I so mad at a child? But as many of you here know, grief doesn't care about logic. Grief takes something that's meant to be beautiful and turns it into something painful. It takes a billboard that's meant to be helpful and makes it feel like a personal reminder of everything you've lost. It isolates you in a way that's hard to explain. And no one really prepares you for that. They tell you that grief is sadness. They don't tell you that it's confusion at your own emotions. They don't tell you it's something as simple as looking at a billboard and feeling like it made you into an angry powder keg who might curse out the next person who walks by. But in that moment, as angry as I was, there was something else there. Because a small, very small part of me knew this was supposed to be a good thing. This is a child who lived. So why did it feel like an attack? And that's when I started to understand that grief isn't just about losing someone. It's about trying to figure out how to exist in a world where both things are true at the same time, where someone's miracle can sit right next to your pain and your loss. So that is my reflection. Thank you for letting me share with you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Angela, for your humor and your righteous anger. Next, we have Andy Corin. He was born and raised on the wrong side of Fayetteville, North Carolina. Andy writes prose and plays, but he's probably best known for writing an obituary for his mother, Renee. That was back in December of 2021. It was the obituary, unorthodox, irreverent, and brutally honest. At the same time, it was loving and authentic to the spirit of Renee. Andy adapted his tribute to Renee into a memoir. It's called Dirtbag Queen. Andy and his fur baby live in the Hudson Valley of New York. Welcome, Andy. I love your name, by the way, Andy.
Yes, it's a very good name. I thought I had a copyright on it, but I guess not. Um, Thank you for having me, other Andy. I don't mean to otherize you. It's a perfectly fine name. Um, Not only is it Mother's Day this Sunday, but it is my dead mother's 89th birthday. Every 7 years, it happens that her birthday falls on Mother's Day. And this year, her birthday is on Mother's Day. It used to fill us with, of course, dread because, the double whammy of your mother's birthday and Mother's Day falling on the same day. This year is different for me. I've spent, the really the 3 years after she died, I spent writing this book, traveling around for the research for it, publishing it, touring it, going to wonderful places and sad places, but also experiencing my dislocation and grief at the same time as a son. One of the things I wanted to share with you all today was my the kind of the genesis for this whole new life that I have as a writer all came about because of laughter and forgiveness. My mother laughed a lot and required a lot of forgiveness. And that is what that obituary was all about. It was about laughing all the way to the grave. And that is literally what we did with Renee. And she called me Ann, Ann, because I was the daughter she never had. And or I was the other daughter she never had. I was predeceased by a sister. And so I wanted to share a piece from my book, which is called, as you just heard, Dirtbag Queen. And this is a part of the book where I've basically run away to go live with my sister because life with my mother was so chaotic and so unpredictable. We were so poor. We were moving constantly. She couldn't keep a dime stapled to her ass if she tried. So I left Fayetteville and I moved to the Outer Banks. It was a total disaster. I was 15. I got arrested for stealing Cabbage Patch dolls. I moved back to Fayetteville to go back to live with my mother. And Renee and Ann, after a long year of separation and arrest for stuffed doll theft, we are finally reunited for the premiere of our favorite writer on earth, Jackie Collins' serial adaptation on ABC of Hollywood Wives. And this is from the chapter of my book called Hollywood Wife. Hollywood Wives was a smash. #1 for the night, a 22 rating, a 33 share. 1 in 3 television sets tuned into the same glossy drama. Nothing could touch it. It was high class, high camp from start to finish. From Andrew Stevens to Angie Dickinson, it was a feathered romp written in fur and diamonds. The world was hooked. We were hooked. We were reunited. Me, a queen-sized heated waterbed, Stephanie Powers, and her, Renee and Anne, together again. You can be your own woman, Montana, or you can be married, Renee giggled, ensconced deeply within her rust-orange corduroy television-watching husband, and shaking the waterbed with her laughs, the water warm, heated up high to offset the damp and chilly Fayetteville night. Together again. Neil is her writing partner, Renee. They are writing a movie together. She will never leave him. I crowed from my usual position at her feet, exhibiting an unnatural, even eerie understanding of the power of a greenlit movie script over all other earthly arrangement. I don't know why they call this shit Hollywood Wives. It should be called Hollywood Ex-Wives. It's not about marriage, Renee said. It's about freedom from marriage. Freedom from your parents' marriage, she belly laughed, lazily plucking another errant fine vellus from her already denuded eyebrow. You can have a life, a real life, Montana, she murmured, or you can be married. I floated with Renee like this for 3 nights, rocking gently on her warm waterbed waves to the glow of the TV, startled periodically out of our story by her outbursts of derision and joy, with each revelation and shocking twist as I painted her toenails and buffed her feet like old times. She expertly dissected the rookie mistakes of those glamorous women, married ladies she and I pitied, but also really wanted to protect. We'd never lower ourselves to be with losers like them, but we would be there for them when they inevitably fell. We loved a good mop-up. When it came to men, Renee Corin knew the score and knew when to bail. She had even cut ties with her boyfriend, Dan Marino, grimly stitching her AFC heart to the Steelers after the spectacular collapse of the Dolphins' defense and Marino getting sacked all those times. Yins for life, Steelers nations to her very last breath. If you had asked me then, I would have said that night that Renee Corin was the wisest, toughest, smartest woman in the entire world. That is not what I believed. That is what I knew. Yet mothers and daughters, am I right? We inevitably pull away. We cannot help but seek out our own way, thinking that we can be free of those that made us in their image all too well. Ross doesn't love you, Elaine, Renee admonished. He loves what you can do for him. Come on, Mom. You'd marry again to live in a house that nice, to live in Bel Air with a real housekeeper, I said. Nah, there's no me in team, Anne, she said. There actually is a me in team, Renee, I dared to correct. Well, there's no Renee in team. Not that kind of team. Not ever again. She shuddered in distaste at Elaine's slavish devotion to her cheating dummy husband Ross. I spent fewer and fewer of my remaining Fayetteville hours in the company of my influential advisor, Renee, and more at the knees of the women who held the keys to my future, my drama teacher, Miss Laura, my yearbook advisor, Miss Maddie, and Olga B. Thorpe, my beloved taskmaster at the Fayetteville Little Theater. They gave me the daily drops of courage and encouragement I needed to dare to believe that I could dream and get going on that dream, that I could do what those people on the TV could do. I knew instinctively, on a level that I would not fully drag into the sunlight until spending a fortune on therapy many years into the future, that this leaving, this pursuit of mine, it would make Renee happy too. I did what it took. I asked for help, for guidance from women who were not encumbered by the same types of complications as my own family was. I figured out before I even left Fayetteville behind that Renee Corin probably wouldn't be my agent much longer. I'd be hers. By the time Hollywood Wives was the #1 show in America, Renee's time as my mentor and advisor, and mine as her mentee and client, was a nearly complete phase, and our roles had begun to completely reverse, the way the North Equatorial Current in the Indian Ocean does every November, moving for months in the opposite direction against the impending monsoon. There was simply no more that Renee could do for me in Fayetteville, so Renee, in essence, became my Hollywood wife. One from whom I was both desperate to be and desperately afraid of being, completely and utterly untethered. Happy birthday, Renee.
Thank you, Andy. May Renee's memory be a blessing. Um, I like how you included the other mother figures in your life
That's right.
who supported you. And that line about we all have to inevitably pull away from our mothers, I think a lot of us can relate to that, whether that's in life or in death. So thank you, Andy.
I've been trying,
Um,
but I can't get rid of her.
she seems like someone I would want to have around,
Yeah,
so
I gotta
anyway.
stop trying.
Thank you, Andy. So now it's my pleasure to introduce Sarah Elizabeth Charles and Jarrett Cherner. They're going to share some reflections and some more music. They are partners in life and in their profession. They were with us last year at one of our vigils, and it's great to have the two of you back. Sarah is a vocalist and composer based in Brooklyn. She is a lead teaching artist with Carnegie Hall at Sing Sing Correctional Facility. Her most recent album, Dawn, is inspired by her journey through miscarriage, birth, and motherhood. Jarrett is a pianist, composer, and band leader. He's a passionate educator as well, also a teaching artist with Carnegie Hall, an instructor at Franklin and Marshall College, and he maintains a private studio. A year ago, before I invited them to appear at a vigil, I had the pleasure of hearing them perform at a well-being concert at Carnegie Hall. Um, and I'm so glad the two of you are back with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. We're so happy to be back and to be here with you all. We were invited to share a bit of a reflection before performing a piece of music for you, and I feel moved to just share in relationship to what Andy just shared. This first song that we're going to play for you is from that record that Andy just mentioned, and this album, is about all of the things that you just said, but as time moves forward, it feels like it's also about so many other things. We are parents. We have two kiddos, Tyler Dawn Cherner and Jaden Charles Cherner. One is 4.5 and the other is 2. And I'm just realizing that for me, something that that has been sort of awakened, or maybe just I've gotten clarity around becoming a parent, is just the reality and the preciousness of like each one of our lives, and this idea that we are all like nurturers, that like motherhood and parenthood isn't like reserved for the people who like do it or are named those things in life, that like we all like birth and nurture things. Like Andy, I'm thinking of your book that you just read from. Like that was like, I remember calling albums like my babies before I had babies. Like it was like that process was a process of nurturing and birthing and creation. And so I feel like, in addition to sort of pausing for Mother's Day, I don't know, being here today and offering some of this music from this project feels really embedded in just honoring that reality for each of us. For me, I want to pause and let Jarrett share a little.
All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Jarrett. I'll just share a quick thought from today, unrelated to our gathering here today. I found out I need to clean the voicemail out of my phone, and it seems like I hadn't cleaned the voicemail off my phone in more time than my mother has been gone. She passed 6 years ago, but I haven't deleted voicemails in 7 or 8 years. And so as I went back to clean out some voicemails, I found some from her, which was wild, because it felt very familiar, like her voice and her calling while she was still healthy was so familiar. It felt like no time has passed, and yet more time has passed. She's been gone longer than we've been parents, and it feels like we've been parents for a long time. 4.5 years of being a dad is a lot of diapers, a lot of missed sleep, and it's funny. When we were here in the fall, I think it was, for another vigil. It was around loss, and I spoke about my mom, and here we are. I'm speaking about her again, and there's nothing really more to say other than that time is funny, and it's wild how something can feel so far away and yet still so present.
Yeah. So maybe we'll play something.
Play some music.
For you. Uh, Jared's mother, I was very close to her, and she was, gosh, speaking of Mother's Day, I took so many walks with her and have learned how to be a mom through learning from her. Yeah, this first song is called Miracle, and again, this music keeps on transforming in meaning. For us, for me, Jared's played this music with me a lot, but I think this today, I don't know, I feel moved to just dedicate this to the miracle that we all are, the miracles that we all are moving through this world. Yeah.
Meeting your spirit, seeing what you're like, breathing your air in, wondering about you for my whole life, could never imagine. Your love is a miracle. Your love is a miracle. Your light is a miracle. In my eyes, you're a miracle. Your life is a miracle. Your light is a miracle. Your love is a miracle. In my eyes, you're a miracle. No. Holding your head in the palm of my hand, I see it clear as day, growing inside me from a magic land. Can't wait to say your name. Your life is a miracle. Your love is a miracle. Your light is. Your life is a miracle. Your love is a miracle. Your life is a miracle. Your love is a miracle. Your life is a miracle. Your love is a miracle. Your
Goosebumps. Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Jared. Tatiana, you mentioned earlier, like, we're not all together physically, but this music is allowing me to feel really connected to all of you. So thank you so much. Now it's my opportunity to introduce Hala Alian. Hala, welcome. She is an award-winning poet, a novelist, and now a memoirist. In her new book, I'll Tell You When I'm Home, Hala shares how her experience of motherhood via surrogacy forces her to reckon with the legacy of her family's exile and displacement. She works as a clinical psychologist and as a professor at NYU. She lives in Brooklyn with her family. Um, Welcome, Hala.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's really an honor, and I'm just beyond moved by all the offerings. I'm just gonna dive into reading some stuff. I'm gonna read something I wrote for my daughter. I'm gonna read something I wrote about the years of infertility. I'm gonna read something kind of adjacent to my own mother, although she'd have a lot of feedback if she knew it was about her, and that's it. This is from the memoir. This is at the end after my daughter has been born. In you is the glittering Beirut pavement after rain, the ports of Boston. In you are both my grandmother's rebellious blood, following men, escaping wars from one country to another, my mother's leavings, my aunt's. In you is the rage and humiliation and exile and harm and rejoicing and help of generations of women. In you live the people that made you, all of them. And I wouldn't give you another story, even if I could, for this is the one that bore you, and it is heavy and dazzling and the truth. In you is your father's wanderlust, his father's loneliness, his father's heart giving out on a tiled floor. In you is the story of sailors, occupiers, the occupied, the people who never left, people who were made to. You will live within this, as we all do. You come from people that love the way moons pull tides, or else the way tides are pulled by the moon, and someday you will have to reckon with your own unruly heart. And I have no advice to give save one thing. Don't exile anything. Turn the sun of your attention, briefly, sometimes briefly, on all that awakens your love. This is your birthright, Layla. You will have to hunt for many things, excavate them in others or yourself, but not your mother's truth. I'll leave that right in the open for you to see. And then I will thank you. I'm going to read just like some ghazals. I've been on a real ghazal kick. I'm not sure why. The first one I'll read is for my grandmother, who was very much she very much raised me in many ways, along with my mother. But this is called Fatme Dust Ghazal. I married him anyway. Salim with the long neck, Salim, sunset. I learned mildew, dust, became wife to 3 countries. Who could have foretold this new dust? In Kuwait, we'd watch moon to
Yes.
for the sandstorm to
Chicken finger?
I got you. You're good. You're good. In Kuwait, should I go, Andy? In Kuwait, we'd wait moon to moon for the sandstorm to pass. Every day I'd watch by the window for the link of him walking through dust.
Oops. Hold on, Hala. I'm going to ask you to start from the beginning. I just need to fix one thing. Sorry about that. Hala, can you speak once more?
Yes, of course. Can you hear me?
Okay, you're
I'm
good.
audible. Okay, great.
Please
Awesome.
proceed.
I'll
Sorry.
just do it from the beginning. Fatme Dastghazal. I married him anyway. Salim with a long neck. Salim sunset. I learned mildew, dust, became wife to 3 countries. Who could have foretold this new dust? In Kuwait, we'd wait moon to moon for the sandstorm to pass. Every day I would watch by the window for the link of him walking through dust. My daughter dreamt of lions. The army came within a week. Have you seen a city go jade? Have you seen a city go dead? Our houses grew dust. I mean to say, for him I sold the blue of sea. For him I packed my quick mouth, the trinket of my accent. Still, am I not due dust from my father's grave? Diamonds, my old name. This is the hot jinks of doddering. We knew our mothers, and our mothers knew dust. I sent my superstition west with the children, spit at the bad angel, turned the sneaker right side up. At the American airport, I opened my mouth and out flew dust. Salim, you've never seen such color. Prairies, Two for ones, six news channels, and not a single coup. Televisions as warm as a mother, one stunned eye, all blue dust. And then I will do, I guess I'll do both of these. These both are from the infertility era. This is called Shattering Ghazal. The results in the new nurse's mouth. Gonadropin low, my surprise shattering like late bougainvillea. That evening, a rainstorm, skies shattering. I'm sorry about Barcelona. I'm sorry about the pregnancies. Low pulse, mauve lipstick, river sliced like blue fruit, July's shattering. I'm no mother. Hoodie around my waist, hair like a flicker, hole in Ramones, and I'm 17 again, a reprised shattering. Is it my thyroid? Is it my iron? I'm a carnivore now. Sneak and cod and iodine. It's not enough. My teeth want octopus, fish heads, eyes shattering between molars. Groundhog's Day, legs in stirrups, thin needle, eager cervix. I'd rather be anywhere. Airport, bunker, Norway. I'm fine. I'm fine. I despise shattering. After, I hold my middle like a gladiator. Eggs snuck out. The French word is the same. Vol, vol. I'm a thief. I'm in flight. Even my mind tries shattering. And then this. I'll just do two more. This is called Hours Ghazal. There was no heartbeat, only a sesame seed in the wrong place, saline, hours on a drip. We waited under the fluorescent lights for 10, 15 hours. The doctor was a flirt. He spoke Latin to my uterus. The machines thundered like horses, my hands drooping between hours. Was love always such an emergency? I can't recall. The mistake was inside me. I sunned myself in the backyard, watched finches in those lean hours. I bled. I was all womb and hair. I wanted a thumbprint pressed in black ink, mug shots fast forwarded, arson, those weeks seemed hours. My knees apart like a theater cue. The cost of wanting something is who you are on the other side of getting it. I pilgrimage to the clinics, triage, caffeine, hours in waiting room. Here, silver clamp. Here, sleep, gas, or vein. What, mother? Mother, what? I carried only anesthesias, green hours. And I'll do one last one, and it is called Mother Ghazal. When I say menace, you say mother. Let's try mother. Menace, 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 machine and my mother. Mother cult, mother tongue, mother medicines, Beirut into alms for me. I'm nothing like my mother. What is mother but another word for God? Mother in the mirror, mother in the palm, mother says rise and I rise, mother, like daughter. Mother likes the reddest lipstick, the sleekest high rise, mother likes mother. I know four words and they're all mother. Sky, snake, smog, soft. I have four mothers and they're all on do not disturb. I fight mothers for an airport terminal. Oh mercy, oh mother, the chiromancer traced no fate line to the heart line. Silent mother, cut from ancestor to tomorrow. Give me three continents and watch me sell them for a book advance. Dubai mother, Dior mother, give me three names and watch me wear them through my earlobes, gold and low, just like mother. I lied, mother. You know that, mother. I'm your rear view, I'm your twin, tectonic, magnet, second wife, whatever might hurt me, I mother. Thank you.
Allah, you are an exquisite writer. Um, and I appreciate that you are naming kinds of grief that often don't get recognized in society, disenfranchised grief, ambiguous grief. Um, and I'm going to ask you for a moment to put on your poetry teacher hat. Tell us about the ghazal that you mentioned, this particular form. Oh, you got to unmute. Oh, you're not allowed to. Sorry. Okay.
I it is a form that is originally I mean, nobody knows exactly when, but is originally, I think, Arab, like it was used in ages ago and what was at the time Persia and different parts of the Arab world. And it's a form that essentially follows a certain kind of you end the lines of each couplet with the same word, and if you're really, really doing it correctly, you have to rhyme the second to last word. For me, maybe a better way to talk about it, aside from like breaking it down, is that I find it to be a very comforting form, despite and maybe because of its limitations. There's something, I think of it as like the perfect form for the exile, because there is something about the fact that you always know where you will return and you can wander, but you always kind of come back home to that final word. And there's something about that act of circling and returning that is extremely comforting for me, especially if I'm writing about charged material, because I'm allowed to sort of like wander off in the middle because I know that I'm going to land on that word.
Thank you, Hala.
Thank you so much.
And now I'm going to invite Tlazolteani to return and lead our honor ceremony. But first, she's going to offer her palabra before we get into that. So welcome back, Tlazolteani.
Well, Mateo, thank you to all of your hearts again, and for honoring me to share my word also, along with all of these beautiful people that have been sharing their wisdoms and their experiences. Calling in all kinds of mothers, like we've heard, those who are grieving our mothers, those who, like me, have a mother who I'm still caring for. She's 87, but never really could be a mother, didn't know, have that well-being within her to be a mother. So she was somebody that I survived, right? So calling in that grieving as I become her caretaker, right? And mother my own children. Calling in those of us maybe that have lost children, or that are mothers in our community, the tias, the aunties that show up in so many different ways. Calling in all those kinds of motherhood within all of us, right? Those of us birthing projects, and calling in all that grief too, Andy, that you talked about, the different kinds of grief. For me personally, I know that right now I have the privilege to grieve in safe spaces like this for mothers who, in my community, in the Latino community, who are being ripped away from our children, who are being kidnapped, for having brown, Latino, Mesoamerican, indigenous features, right? That anti-indigeneity that's running rampant for people who have been on this continent for thousands of years and who are being told that they don't belong, right? So I've been carrying that grief a lot, for cars being left empty, where mothers are being ripped away, children being left in the cars alone, right? We have to check cars now to see if there's any kids that were left in there. And I know this is heavy, and this is part of what I'm carrying and what I'm grieving is a community grief, right? Being that as humanity, we're just one big organism. So if my community members are being ripped away from their children, something that's complex trauma that's going to be take generations to heal, if not, if ever, right? That we all feel it. So it's a complex trauma, even a secondary trauma. So making room for that deep community grief, right? Really even pausing. Because for those of us who are feeling that and carrying that and not knowing what to do necessarily, it could be community grief in any kind of a way, right? So I want to make room for that. And that's what these things like ofrendas do, these offerings. That's what these spaces do, right? Having safe spaces to come together. So I'm sharing gratitude also for being here. And I'm thanking too our Mother Earth, Madrecita Tierra, for showing us how to be well, how to be a mother in these times, right? Like I said, my own mother, she's somebody I've survived and still protect myself with. So I had to learn how to be a mother from our Mother Earth, right? From our Madrecita, how to be abundant, how to be nourishing, how to grow the food we need, how to take care of our waters, right? Our lands, how to see the plants and the trees that are these grandmother, grandfather trees, these plant siblings, these ants who are coming and taking little pieces of rice and beans from the offering to know how to live in harmony, right? how to teach me how to be that abundant and cariñoso mother, right? To bring that care, to bring the blanket and make everybody cozy. I learned that from our Madrecita Tierra, our Mother Earth. So giving gratitude to our Madre, Tonantzin Tlalicue, and thanking her to show me how to be abundant as a mother. And transforming in that way, as that the way that we're all transformative beings, right? The way we all co-create, transforming the surviving into flourishing, and expanding that intention and that prayer to my community who is being separated from their children and children separated from their mothers. So transforming, bringing in, calling into this circle that transformation, right? And asking all of us to be that transformation for those of us who can't, for those of us who are being kidnapped and put into detention centers and sent to countries where they've possibly never been or have no way to survive. And I'm grateful for this space that we can talk about these hard things, grieving in all its forms, because a lot of the time the society asks us to behave. We have to exist in certain expectations and smile a lot and act like everything's okay. And that's why when I did the opening blessing, I invited us to let the waters run, to give permission to ourselves to be in a receiving position. Because without these spaces, we might be holding in, right, what we need to release. So I'm grateful for these spaces that allow us to talk about all the different forms of grief and how hard it is to carry it. And the art and the music and the palabras, the word, the poetry, that it requires to share that grief outside of expectation, outside of time and space. Because that's how grief is. It's outside of time and space. And it doesn't behave. So again, I call in Andy's words, and I'm grateful that you started out with an anger, right? Like, this sucks. It can suck. Because there aren't any rules around it. Just like there aren't any rules about the way we express it. So I'm pausing. And I'm calling in my children. My 3 children. Sharing that love. Sharing all that I am, the good, the bad, the ugly. Without those judgments, right? But inviting the messiness of motherhood. And in opening up and creating the space for all things to exist. I'm calling in healing. Healing for those mothers being separated from their children, the children being separated from their mothers. And healing for all of us so that we can move from maybe just surviving into flourishing together. In armonía, in harmony. And so in this moment, as we've called in all of this healing, as we've allowed ourselves to shed those tears, as we moved right from our mind into our body and our spirit, I invite everyone here present to please put into the chat anything that you are carrying in any kind of grief that is. Community grief, grief of a loved one, anything or anyone that you're holding in your thoughts, that you're holding in your intentions or your prayers. I'm inviting you to write that into the chat. Share with us as we weave together this good medicina, this good medicine. I'm inviting you to write it into the chat so that we can all see and express in a community. And when I say the words Ometeo, you hear me say, I say that means two energies creating in Nahuatl, the language of Nahuatl. Two energies coming together to create. So in that way, I'm going to leave us with that word Ometeo, where we are all coming together to create. Ometeo.
The spark is fresh, life-giving, beating where there was no beat before. The spark so fine, so fleeting, forevermore. My heart at rest is thoughtful, able to calm the loudest wail. My heart at best is faithful to the story it will never tell. Can you love a thing that never was? Can you mourn anticipation lost? Can you hold that love so close and let it go? Oh, let it go.
Thank you, Tlazolteani. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Jarrett. Um, And I want to thank all of you sharing in the chat, um, sharing memories, sharing who you've lost, the photos. I think we could use a breath right now. So let's breathe in, everybody. One, and you can let it out now. Thank you. Um, I have another question for our speakers around Robin. I know many of you who are gathered here today uh, might might be feeling some anticipation about Sunday and thinking about what your plan might be. So I'm just curious to hear from all of our speakers what your plans are. I'll start with Andy. It's going to be Renee's 89th birthday.
I'm gonna bake a cake.
You're going to bake a cake? I was wondering, I thought you might be like getting a mani-pedi or going to the
I
casino.
Sunday is my day off between my three jobs. And I like to bake on my days off, and it's her birthday, and my mother loved my baking, so I'm gonna bake her and me a nice cake.
Nice. Nice. Angela, how about you? What are you doing on Sunday?
I was trying to think of a very positive answer, but honestly, I just ignore the day and anything that says Mother's Day, I scream "fuck you" out loud. I've been screaming it to my phone whenever it gives me an alert that is what I can buy for my mom for Mother's Day.
Mm.
And can I just say, all y'all in the chat, oh my God, thank you. And I love you for sharing so much. Just, I honestly, grief has taught me how to love so much harder. I just want to give my heart to all of you. Thank you for sharing so much.
Thank you, Angela. Um, Hala, what are your plans on Sunday?
Yeah, I also just want to echo that I'm so humbled by everybody sharing. I am going to see my mother with my little one, and that part of the day I'm looking forward to, and then I'm going to take Layla and see my ex because we're trying to do sort of these like communal celebrations that are probably more painful than they're helpful right now, but we're trying. We're trying. We're trying.
Thank
But
you,
yeah,
Hala.
I'm also I always like to just do a little bit of something for my grandmother who passed a few years ago. So there'll be some sort of ritual I'll do later in the day after Layla goes to sleep.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Sarah and Jarrett, what are your plans?
That's sort of top secret information over here because in our family, at least, Mother's Day has shifted to me helping our kids celebrate their mother. So even though this isn't my mother, now my wife is the recipient of Mother's Day affection.
Yeah. We're also needing to carve out some time, which we haven't done yet, to honor Jarrett's mother, Polly. So still kind of in flux, but yeah, we'll be together. So
Family Day.
family day.
Good, good. Finally, Platsoltiani, what's your plan?
Mateo. So we love to be a multi-generational household. So we'll have the mothers here, the kids here, the grown-up kids too. And also we always honor our ancestors. So we put out the spirit plate and just make sure that we have laughter and joy together as a family, right? What better way to be well? That's actually in curanderismo, that's a remedio, that's a curación, is to laugh out loud. So we just intentionally make sure that we bring that joy into the family.
Nice. Thank you. Um, we're gonna sort of work our way out of this program. We're gonna hear another song from Sarah and Jared, but first I have an announcement that I want to make before we go. Let me do some sharing here. Let's see. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. So we know after a gathering like this one, people want a way to stay together, to stay connected, and keep exploring these topics together. We're inviting you to try out a new pathway online that we're developing. It's Reimagine's growth journey. It's rooted in a body of psychological research called post-traumatic growth. Because you are here today and you're part of this community, you could join this platform through this new pathway that my colleague Deb Gardner has created. It's called Reimagine Grief and Loss, and it draws on poetry, on psychology, and the wisdom of people who have lived what you guys have been living. It guides you through your grief, helps you find a new meaning in it, and invites you to carry that meaning forward into relationships and into community. It is free. It's in beta. That means we're still working out some kinks, but we'd be grateful for you to try it out. Nicole will be pasting a link to a survey. And within that survey, there'll be a link to try out Reimagine Grief and Loss. And while Nicole is pasting that link in the chat, we'd be grateful just for you to take a few minutes to open it up. Maybe after the program ends, you could fill out the questionnaire. We'd love to hear from you about how this experience was for you, what we might improve going forward, and then there'll be the link to Reimagine Grief and Loss. So now I want to invite Sarah and Jared back to play their final song. Maybe, Sarah, you want to say a few words about this?
Yeah, we had a plan, and I think the plan has changed. We're going to play a different song. I'm going to try to actually pull up the lyrics to share them in the chat with you all. But this is a piece called Out Loud that we love to offer up whenever we can. I wrote this piece before losing my brother in 2018, and sing this for him and also for all of the people that we've lost since then. So this is called Out Loud.
She did not know she was able to break. She felt her moods would flow even with time. She couldn't have known a mistake she would make to trust her mind. He did not know that he'd have to prove all his self-worth or else he would lose. Now he is left rewriting the blues without a dime. As we move forward through this life, don't know how long we will survive. Just trying to hold still to not disturb the rhyme. It's not about a win or lose, only what path you choose to choose. People that brace through time don't live life anew. Lord, will survive. Just trying to hold still to not disturb the rhyme. It's not about a win or lose, only what path you choose to choose. People that brace through time. Don't live life undefined and yet so clear. Listen close so you can hear. If we wait, then time can slow right down. Be here and now, living life out loud. If you'd like, you can sing along with us on this last melody. The lyric is out loud, and the melody goes like this. Out loud, out loud, out loud, out loud, out loud, out loud, out loud. Keep it going. Out loud, out loud, out loud, out
So beautiful, so beautiful. Sarah, may your brother's memory be a blessing. Jarrett, may your mom's memory be a blessing. And I hope for all of you, as Sunday approaches, you'll all be able to choose the path that feels right for you. So thank you. I'm going to go back to some more announcements here. Let's get this going. Okay. Okay. So, move this over. Slideshow. There we go. We have other experiences and programs for you coming up this month. I hope you'll join us. We have Room for Grief. That's on May 21st. It's our peer-led drop-in group. We meet every third Thursday of the month. We leverage creativity and prompts to foster conversation and pathways for those seeking to process all kinds of loss and struggle. Our facilitator for this Room for Grief is death doula, artist, and Reimagine collaborator Mangda Sengwanpeng. So join us for that. We have a very, very special program also on May 21st, later in the day. It's called Cover You with Flowers, Cover You in Flowers. It's part of a music series we're hosting on this new online platform that I talked about earlier. It's hosted by Brad Wolf, Reimagine's executive director and co-founder, who is also a musician. Cover You in Flowers is inspired by a true story of love and devotion in the face of serious illness. Grace Livingston, who was a Reimagine volunteer, She decided after losing her mother to cancer that she wanted to help others face death more openly. Later, Grace faced her own terminal diagnosis and died. Um, this is going to be a very meaningful event, so please join us. You can register for both Room for Grief, Cover You in Flowers, and other programming that we have using the link that Nicole will paste in the chat. Let's give a little shout out to Nicole for all her help on this call too. Thank you, Nicole. Um, and there's a link that we're including also to collaborate with Reimagine. You can host your own workshops. You can host your own conversations. And we provide some tools to help you do that. So please consider that. What else? Uh, Thank you. Thank you for coming. Um, and I don't know. Any final words from our speakers before we head out?
I just wanted to say to our singers, our musicians, and our friend in Austin, I thought those were just beautiful, and thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you, Tatiani. Thank you, Sarah and Jarrett. Um, we're going to say goodbye now, and we hope to catch you at another Reimagine program, maybe on May 21st. You'll all get the recording from this gathering and more information about all of our speakers and our guests. So thank you, and wishing you all well on Sunday. Take good care, everybody.